What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first real edition, I guess. That's what you'll call it, of the Haniaroad. You guys watched the last video, which I'm hoping you did. If you ended up here, I'm hoping that, however you got here, I'm not really sure how it happened, but I'm glad you're here, and that's the most important thing. So today I wanted to get started doing the book reviews. I'm really excited to talk about this because I really only get my books from one place. And I've really been excited to share this with somebody. I don't really have a lot of friends who like to read, I guess, as much as I do. So I've been really excited to like tell somebody about this website because I want somebody to be as excited about getting books for the price that I do, which is super cool. I don't pay shipping and handling most of the time, and I never really spend more than $5 on a book total. Shipping and handling, the book itself, and the books are in really, really good condition. So I'm hoping that somebody there, one of you guys, whenever one of you, hopefully somebody actually gets something out of this and actually ends up using it because I think it's cool. I thought that somebody out there would think it's cool. So, yeah. And that thing is thriftbooks.com. Thrift, THRIFT, books.com. One of the best websites by far of actually having so many different kinds of books in stock and for really good prices. And on top of that, they're in really good condition. I've never had a problem where I've gotten a book and, because it was used or, whatever, I've never had an issue. I've never had an issue at all with, my book being messed up and being unreadable or the pages being, torn or scribbled all in or anything. They look brand new sometimes. Most of the time, matter of fact, they actually look brand new. So if you guys are interested, which I hope you will be at some point, this is what the book will look like when it comes in the mail, okay? So they're doing it economically and conveniently. You're not paying for shipping and handling, so I don't think it's a big deal that it's not inside of an actual box or anything. It's a book. I think it can take it. If it gets thrown around in the mail truck, I think it'll live. It's great, though. I actually don't even know what book this is. I don't even know. Yeah. Anywho, that to say, today we'll be talking about Sir Thomas More's Utopia. This is an excellent book. I actually haven't made it completely through the book yet. I'm actually still going through it. Just wanted to share some parts of the book itself. Really just kind of, talk about it and I guess my views on it. And then we can leave it up to discussion and hopefully it's something that you guys like and it'll intrigue you enough to actually go and check it out. So first off, this was also purchased from Thrift Books. If you can see that little tag right there, it's purchased from Thrift Books. And as you can see, I mean, their books are used, but as you can see, in really, really good condition. Pages and everything, binding is good. Do a quick flip through. Nothing wrong with the book. Nothing wrong with the book. There's nothing written inside of it except what I've written as my notes for this video. Other than that, the whole book is completely clean. There's no gum stuck on the inside or anything like that. It's great and it's really convenient. I can't remember the exact dollar amount I paid for it, but at the end of the day, the most expensive book that I've ever bought from Thrift Books was $5, and that was including shipping and handling. So that gives you an idea. So this book was written in 1516 is when it was first published, according to the back right here. Just kind of giving you guys a rundown of what's going on. It's really about society and what society should be ideally, and really trying to figure out why we make it harder than what it has to be. Why we make it so imperfect when it's not necessarily hard to make it better. Not gonna say perfect, but better for everyone. So in here, in the beginning, we actually have some gentlemen going back and forth and actually having a conversation where they're debating this and they're having some issues coming to an agreement on certain things about society. In this particular case, it happens to be the death penalty, and why or when or how the death penalty should be used in capital punishment. So these two gentlemen are having a very civilized conversation. They're disagreeing, but they're having a very civilized conversation together. And this is one of the gentlemen talking. I would gladly know upon what reason it is that you think theft ought not to be punished by death. Would you give way to it? Or do you propose any other punishment that would be more useful to the public. For since death does not restrain theft, men thought their lives would be safe. What fear or force could restrain ill men? On the contrary, they would look on the mitigation of the punishment as an invitation to commit more crimes. I answered, it seems to me a very unjustly thing to take away a man's life for a little money. For nothing in the world can be equal, or I'm sorry, for nothing in the world can be of equal value with a man's life. And if it is said that it is not for the money that one suffers, but for his breaking the law, I must say, extreme justice is an extreme injury, for we ought not to approve of these terrible laws that make the smallest of offenses capital, nor of that opinion of the Stoics that make all crimes equal, as if there were no difference to be made between the killing of a man and the taking of his purse, between which, if we examine things impartially, there is no likeness nor proportion. God has commanded us not to kill, and shall we kill so easily for a little money? But if one shall say that by the law we are only forbid to kill any, except when the law of the land allows upon it, upon the same grounds, laws may be made in some cases to allow of adultery and perjury. For God having taken from us the right of disposing either of our own or other people's lives, if it is pretended that the mutual consent of man in making laws can authorize manslaughter, in cases in which God has given us no example, that it frees people from the obligation of the divine law, and so makes murder a lawful action. What is this but to give a preference to human laws before the divine? And if this is once admitted by the same rule, men may, in all other things, put what restrictions they please upon the laws of God. Now, let's take a quick break here. I understand I don't want to offend anyone if you have, different religious beliefs or no religious affiliation or beliefs at all. I do apologize for the references to God, but we're just looking at this from a holistic point of view. We just want to get a perspective of what the conversation is talking about, and we want to, kind of decide, not necessarily who's right or who's wrong, but we want to just kind of expand our mode of thinking and just consider the whole thing as a whole and just take from it what we can. All right, now as we move on, we're going to skip a little bit. I'm not exactly reading it in chronological order. I'm skipping around a little bit. It's just the most, pertinent parts. Upon these reasons it is that I think putting thieves to death is not lawful, and it is plain and obvious that it is absurd, and of ill consequence to the commonwealth, that a thief and a murderer should be equally punished. For if a robber sees that his danger is the same if he is convicted of theft as if he were guilty of murder, this will naturally incite him to kill the person whom otherwise he would have only robbed. Since if the punishment is the same, there is more security and less danger of discovery when he that can best make it is put out of the way, so that their terrifying thief too much provokes them to cruelty. But as to this question, what more convenient way of punishment can be found? I think it is much more easier to find out than to invent anything that is worse. Why should we doubt but the way that was so long in use among the old Romans, who understood so well the arts of government? They condemned such as they found guilty of great crimes to work their whole lives in quarries or to dig in mines with chains about them. Okay, so now he's giving us his solution. I know that's quite apparent, but I thought it was really interesting how the way that their conversation took place was, here is my stance on this. Here's why I disagree with that. But also here's a solution. There was no one-sided opinion where this is what I think, you should respect it, and that's that. I mean, that's a little, while there is some truth to that we have to respect each other, I think it's very important that they explain their points of views, why they disagree, and they actually converse about it, and they actually get somewhere in the conversation. It's always moving forward to understanding each other more, about expanding their paradigms and their natural inclination to lean one way or the other. I like the way that they converse and talk amongst each other like men and scholars. And these are actually just rather common people back then. Those that are found guilty of theft among them are bound to make restitution to the owner, and not as it is in other places to the prince, for they reckon that the prince has no more right to the stolen goods than the thief. But it is that which was stolen. But if that which was stolen is no more in being, then the goods of the thieves are estimated, and restitution being made out of them, the remainder is given to the wives and children, and they themselves are condemned to serve in the public works, but are neither imprisoned nor chained, unless there happen to be some extraordinary circumstances in their crimes. They go about loose, free, working for the public. If they are idle or backwards to work, they are whipped. But if they work hard, they are well used and treated without any mark or reproach. Okay, now obviously that conversation between those two gentlemen is a lot different than a conversation you might walk in on now, especially if you're just eavesdropping, you just overhear people. That happens to be drastically different than anything you would hear now. You know, I kind of get frustrated sometimes because, so many people I feel have conversation uh, aimlessly. It's like almost being forced. It's what we call awkward. It's like the new definition of awkward. And I really think it's just meaningless conversation that doesn't really get anywhere. You're not learning anything from it. No one's being taught anything better or new. Your mind is not really being exercised. It's not really being put to great use because conversations nowadays just seem to be so shallow. Especially when we're talking about social media and celebrities and fashion trends and vines, Snapchat, Insta, Facebook. I mean, it's great, it's cool because we get to be connected to so many people. And truthfully, odds are, without one of those social networks, I wouldn't know you, or you wouldn't know me, or however, I guess we know each other, or however this is going. But we would never know that each other exists if we didn't have these social networks, or the internet, or YouTube, or the Haniaroad.com, whatever. So it is really convenient, and it's cool that the world can be so connected, and there's so many people can be brought together. But it also it also becomes a crutch. It also encourages us to depend on technology and not each other. And then we feel like we don't need each other. And then we isolate from each other. And then when we are forced to come together by some weird, unnecessary thing that we don't want to do and we wish we could do over the internet, and we have to encounter humans, other humans, and then we become awkward, and then we don't want to talk, and what is there to talk about? Or I have nothing in common with you, and this and that. You know, when these gentlemen, even though they have two totally different viewpoints on how crime, specifically theft, should be handled by their society. Now, these two men live in the same society. They're under the same jurisdiction. They're under the same rules. They have different opinions. They have different beliefs. But that doesn't stop them from talking and conversing like gentlemen and like scholars and civilized people. You know, it it shows a willingness to learn. It shows observance. It shows intelligence. It shows great self-control to completely, have two different viewpoints on the same thing and still be able to explain your point of view to someone, understand them, But to be able to phrase into words why you disagree and to give a solution and all to have this conversation, at the end of the day, there can't be a bad outcome of a conversation like that. There just can't be. Because at the end of the day, if you continue to disagree, if it's like the whole we agree to disagree thing, it was still a worthwhile conversation. You tried to educate each other. You're giving some, you're receiving some. You're receiving information, you're giving information out, and you're doing it well mannered. You're doing it respectfully, and it's about the world around you. It's about the society you live in and how you can make it better in your opinion. And someone's telling you how they feel it can be better in their opinion. But either way, we're talking about change. We're talking about seeing problems in society and actually trying to fix it. And the conversation is just, minor segues to things like that. Every revolution doesn't just start one day, or, people don't just wake up and say, yeah, it's revolt time. You guys ready? You guys ready? You guys about tired of this? Yeah. Yeah, let's revolt. No, it doesn't. It doesn't go that way. It has to start somewhere. It has to be an idea. It takes belief, perseverance, dedication, commitment. And those are the things that I get out of that conversation when I see men like that, as opposed to how many likes their last post got, or seeing so and so's Snapchat story. And don't get me wrong, I know that not everyone has conversations like that. I totally get that. I totally get it. But I'm just saying, what was considered natural or normal back then, and the difference that we have it in now, around us, is what makes that book so interesting to me. And books like that. So if that sounded like something you guys would be really interested in, you can get it from thriftbooks.com. I'm sure you can get it from, a lot of other places too. Not sure they're going to be thrift prices. You can try. I'm not stopping you. I promise. I won't be mad at you if you go somewhere else and get it. I'm just trying to help you out, all right? So yeah, again, Sir Thomas More's Utopia. I want to thank you guys for being here and being a part of this and being a part of this first book review. It really means a lot to have you here as a viewer. Please feel free to, like I said, email me, haniaroadlifestyle@gmail.com. Leave a comment under the video on YouTube. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the stuff I just kind of bashed. I'm under all that stuff under Haniaroad. I won't give you any specific links. All that stuff's on the website. You can go look at it. Just Haniaroad on all that good stuff, and you'll find me. Check out my ebook on Amazon.com //author /Darian Stephens DerienStephens. Check it out. The Happiness Formula, Escaping the Self Trap. I think you guys might also like that as well. Again, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for being a part of this. And I'll see you guys in the next one, where we will finally talk about this right here. So I hope you guys decide to come by, check me out again, come talk to me. Come talk to me so you can find out what this is. I know you want to know. I know you do. I know you thought it was coming in this video, but it's not. Next time. See you guys later.